All right, good morning and welcome. Welcome to all of our Year 5, 7, 12s and all new students today, and to their parents who've come along on their journey today as well. It's my first day too, so I certainly share in your excitement and I'm keen to get into things as well. So, as we do with all of our assemblies, if you could join me in our acknowledgement of country, and then I'll hand over to Mr. Matt Waugh for our prayer. Could we get the acknowledgement up, please? Thank you. Nudgee College acknowledges all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. We recognise the Turrbal people of Meanjin as part of the oldest living continuing culture in the world. They are the traditional custodians of these lands and waterways, which we call Namuji and Nada, and we call Nudgee. We acknowledge their ancient customs and the law of the land. We pay our respects and acknowledge all ancestors, elders, communities across this nation and neighbouring islands. Thank you and welcome again.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen and young men of Nudgee College. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Matt Waugh and I'm the Dean of Mission and Identity here at St Joseph's College, Nudgee. And it's my great pleasure to welcome you this morning, in addition to providing some sort of a reflection, if you will, on what we stand for at Nudgee and what our hopes and dreams are for this year. I can empathise with so many of you in the room in that last year I gathered here as a Nudgee parent for the first time as well. My son Charles came into Year 9, so he enters Year 10 this year as a new boy in potentially an unorthodox entry year. And those nerves that both he, my wife and I shared are certainly something that many of you may be able to correlate with this morning. But I can absolutely guarantee you 12 months later that the decision that my wife and I made to send our son here was the best decision we've made in our life. He is undoubtedly happier, more confident and loves being a Nudgee boy. And there are just a few reasons why, which I thought I would share with you parents this morning so you could understand just why I have such a deep affection for this place, but also to showcase once again to all of the students here why you can be so proud to be a Nudgee boy. The first slide that I have here is evidence of our extremely strong curriculum and academic pathways. This is the data from our Year 12 graduating class of last year. And you can see here that these results are phenomenal, both for Nudgee in terms of what we produce, but how we compare to schools across the states, how we compare to schools across Australia, including all of the other Edmund Rice Education Australia schools across Queensland. So you can see that our Year 12s, more than a quarter of them that followed that ATAR pathway got a 95 or above, essentially meaning almost any university course that they wish to follow, they could get into. I'll draw your attention to the 81% of students who achieved higher than an 80. That's a remarkable figure, certainly the highest that Nudgee has, and one of the highest of all boys schools in the state, including other all boys Catholic Edmund Rice schools. We were the highest of all. But in addition to those university pathways, you can see the extremely outstanding vocational education pathways. At Nudgee, we're proud to provide a liberating education where all boys can be at their best. So the number of boys that receive certificates, the number of boys that receive diplomas, who are now literally on job sites as first and second year apprenticeships, highlights that regardless of what your son's strengths, talents, interests might be, Nudgee is the place for him. And there's an image there of young Lucian, one of our graduates from last year, who was a highly successful volleyballer and basketballer in his time at Nudgee, but was one of only 26 students in Queensland to achieve the perfect ATAR score. It's impossible to get 100. 100 doesn't exist. The highest score is 99.95, and it's a testament to the education that Nudgee provides in the classroom that Lucian was able to achieve that score. In addition to those academic pathways, perhaps your son's interests lie in the fields of performing arts or sport. And one of my favourite memories of last year and moments of last year was watching The Whiz, our college musical, where Nudgee boys shared the stage with girls from local schools to produce a production that QPAC would have been proud of. And performing arts at Nudgee are so very highly valued. It doesn't matter if it's in an ensemble, if it's vocal, if it's through debating or chess or drama. Your son has a space and place to be celebrated here for his capacity on the stage. But if it's sport, something which obviously Nudgee is also well known for, Yes, we won 4 GPS premierships. Yes, we had the highest participation rates of students playing sport in the GPS. But if personal excellence is your benchmark, you can see there the number of boys who represented Australia or New Zealand in their chosen sport. And many of those boys still attend the college today, and they enter their Year 12 year. But in addition to the classroom, in addition to the stage and the fields, your son just growing into a good young man is no doubt what you hope for. I know that it's what my wife and I want for nothing more than for our son to be respectful and kind and well-mannered. Some of his teachers from last year may testify that's not always the case, but it is our ultimate goal. And maybe these 2 images highlight how we try to do that at Nudgee. One of those images was taken only last week. For every Tuesday morning, students at Nudgee from year 10, 11 and 12 go into the valley with our staff and prepare a hot cooked breakfast for those people that live on the streets. They provide a meal, they provide conversation and just that sense of camaraderie and relationship. That sense of perspective and working with the other, we think stands our boys in extremely good stead to be citizens that make a difference. But it doesn't have to be that macro service where they're out working at special schools or with refugees or with those living on the street. The other image there of young Curtis, who's now a graduate, carrying his Santa sack of laundry, for me embodies what Nudgee is. He's smiling, he's happy, he's having fun. Nudgee is a place that promotes a culture of kindness where your son can be whatever he wishes to be and more importantly can do it with a smile on his face. I spoke to a little Year 5 boy on the way down to CBCC this morning and I said, what are you most looking forward to about Nudgee? And he very innocently and authentically said, I just want to have fun. And that's what this place is. Ladies and gentlemen, we are a place of fun and we're a place of faith. And each afternoon, starting from today, your sons will pause at 2:53, shortly before our 2:55 bell sounds the end of the day. And they will engage in a prayer. And it doesn't matter if it's Year 12 physics or Year 5 art. Every student and every staff member at the school stops. They stand silently in their place and they say a very short but meaningful college prayer to remind us of what we're called to be, signs of faith, people that make a difference. So for our prayer this morning, I certainly invite all of our Year 12 students and our continuing Year 7 students who are familiar with the prayer to join with me. But I invite all of you, if you're comfortable, to join in the saying of our St. Joseph's Nudgee College prayer together. So I invite you, please, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. O God of justice and compassion, place before you our needs as members of St. Joseph's Nudgee College. Nourish and inspire us to live justly, to be a sign of faith to all, and live Jesus in our hearts forever. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Boys, I hope you have a phenomenal day. I look forward to seeing you all around the campus today. And it's my pleasure to introduce our college principal, Mr. Scott Thompson. Thank you.
Gentlemen of Nudgee College, good morning. A very warm welcome to everyone, and I particularly extend a warm welcome to our parents and carers who are in the room. Mr. Waugh, thank you for that beautiful prayer. He's a good salesman, isn't he? He paints a wonderful picture of Nudgee College, and he's not overstating anything there. This year we embark on our 136th year. It was on January 19 that we celebrated the 135th year of that acknowledged the first enrolment at Nudgee College of a young man by the name of Michael McHenry, who in 1891 was driven in a horse and cart up what was a bush track that is now Sandgate Road that took 3 hours to get here. And I often joke with those that I interview with saying that some days it can still take 3 hours to get from Spring Hill at Gregory Terrace up to out here to Boondall. But that commenced the beautiful tradition that we have here. Nudgee men, you are very honoured. It is a great honour to be part of this community. And we are very honoured as a staff to welcome you. We are entrusted with the formation of you, with your learning, with your growth, and to accompany you on your entire Nudgee journey. For some of you, it may be a shorter one. For our Year 5 gentlemen, our youngest and most vulnerable in our community, they have 8 years ahead of them. And we look forward to stepping that out with you along the way. To our new families, I extend a very, very warm welcome, and I hope that you enjoy your time as part of the Nudgee community. I say to all the boys when they come into the school that putting that uniform on comes with responsibility, that they'll get more out of their time here if they connect and they engage with all of the opportunities, the many opportunities. And I also encourage our families to do that as well. There's many avenues that you can get involved. You never know, your best friends may be in this room and you haven't yet met them. So enjoy your time with us. To our boarders, we had 75 new boarders who had never experienced life in a boarding school, and last night they had their first night in our community. So gentlemen, well done. I was able to walk around the boarding community this morning and see lots of smiles. Hopefully you got a good night's sleep. It is a journey. There are challenges with living away from home, but as we said to all those beautiful families that entrusted their boys to us, that we've done this for 135 years, and we look forward to working with those families and making sure that those boys have an incredible experience as they become a Nudgee man. There's a great responsibility that comes with being a Nudgee student, gentlemen. When you put that uniform on, it's something to be immensely proud of, because we are a very historical and traditional community. And I'm going to speak more of that tomorrow, of those expectations that we have. But your job, gents, is to ensure one thing. And if you look down now on the crest of your uniform, you will see an old Latin phrase that is pronounced signum fidei, and that means sign of faith. Every single young man who puts on a Nudgee uniform should be striving to make this school a better place. That can often sound a little bit daunting when you're just one of those 10,000 brothers and a part of over 135 years of history. But in being a sign of faith, in striving to be a sign of faith, you can definitely help to make this community better. And so what you're probably asking, well, what does that mean? And for some of you, you've come from faith-based schools, from Catholic schools. From others, you may not have. And it's something you'll learn along the way. But there's lots of really simple gestures you can do to be a sign of faith. And to me, being the best sign of faith you can be is aiming to make every single person that you encounter across every day, their day even better than what it was before they came across you. So it comes in very simple forms, like being thankful, showing gratitude, helping others, be joyful, be kind, and doing your best in everything that you do. And if you can do that, you're being a true sign of faith, and you're adding to the very rich heritage of Nudgee College. At Nudgee, we come from an extremely wide and diverse range of backgrounds, and that is one of the incredible, unique gifts that we have here at Nudgee College. So be sure to ensure that all of those that do come from very different places are made to feel welcome. New boys, so we've got our year 5s, of course. We've got new students in year 6, new students in year 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Be sure to try and introduce yourself today. And for some of you, it might be a little bit more of a quieter day. For some of our year 8s, 9s, 10s and 11s, you would notice that there's, and our year 6 boys, you don't have the remainder of your cohort here. Tomorrow you will get to meet the rest of your Nudgee brothers. So look out for one another today, and be courageous enough to actually extend a hand and introduce yourself. Our year 7 continuing students, we have about 140 of you who move into a grade 7 with over 220 young men. It's your job to make sure that those other 80 boys who are new to Nudgee feel welcome right from the word go. And I've already seen the beautiful job that our big brothers are doing with our year 5 boys to ensure that they feel welcome. Our year 12 men, welcome to your final first day. The eyes of our community look upon you. Those little men in their big brimmed hats in year 5 who are looking up to you. But you are the example and you set the tone for this great school. Have a wonderful year, and I hope that you enjoy 2026. And finally, a very warm welcome, and we will do that officially tomorrow, but a very warm welcome to all of our new staff And gents who have been here in 2025, if you see a new face on staff, please ensure that you extend a very warm welcome to them. Have a wonderful day, everyone. To our parents, again, thank you very much for the trust that you're showing in us as a staff and us as a community. I hope your Nudgy journey is a wonderful one. Thank you. It's now my privilege to introduce our college captain for 2026, Ethan Andrews.
Every year, Nudgy welcomes new students, farewells others, and continues to change and adapt to new challenges. However, something that will never change is the immense pride and brotherhood we share. Good morning, Mr. Thompson, Reverend Christian brothers, members of the college leadership team, staff, parents, and of course, my fellow Nudgy brothers. My name is Ethan Andrews, and I have the honour of being your college captain for 2026. Whilst I hope you've all had a relaxed and well-deserved break, I can feel the excitement and anticipation in the room for the year ahead. For some of us, it being our last. Today marks an important moment in the life of our college. For some of you here this morning, particularly our new students, today represents the beginning of your time at St. Joseph's Nudgy College. For others, especially our senior students, it marks the commencement of our final year. While we may be at different stages of our time here, we are united by our place within this community. To our new students, I extend a very warm welcome. Beginning at a new school can be both exciting and demanding, particularly within a community as large and opportunity-rich as Nudgy. Feelings of uncertainty or nervousness are completely natural. Every senior in this room once sat where you are now, learning how to navigate a new environment and find their place within it. What I can assure you, though, is that you belong here and you'll be supported throughout your journey. It is also important to acknowledge that none of us arrive here on our own. For every student seated here today, there are parents and families who have made sacrifices to provide this opportunity. Sacrifices of time, comfort, routine, and often personal ambition. A Nudgy education is only possible because of that commitment, and it is something we should never take for granted. Here at Nudgy, we often describe a Nudgy education as a golden ticket, not because it guarantees success, but because it provides an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become the best version of yourself. Like any opportunity, its value is not automatic. A golden ticket only means something if it is recognised, respected, and used well. How you choose to engage with this college will ultimately determine what you take from it. You will be held to standards, encouraged to take responsibility, and expected to grow, not only academically, but personally. At times, this will require effort and resilience, but it is through these expectations that character is formed. Those who approach each opportunity with purpose and commitment will gain the most from their time here. One of the more defining strengths of Nudgy is its people. The relationships you form with your peers, the guidance you receive from staff, and the support offered within this community will shape your experience far beyond the classroom. I encourage you to involve yourself, ask questions, and seek support when needed. This college is at its best when it operates as a genuine community. To our senior students, today carries particular significance. While this is the beginning of our final year, today is not centred on us, but on the future of this college. The younger students present will look to you, often without you realising, for guidance and example. Through your conduct, your attitude, and the way you treat others, you help shape the culture of this community. I encourage you to be mindful of that influence and to lead in a manner worthy of it. Nudgy is a busy and demanding environment, but it is one that asks us to build lasting friendships and to develop into young men prepared for life beyond these gates. So approach the year ahead with commitment, gratitude, and a willingness to make the most of what has been offered to you. To put it simply, roll your sleeves up and get stuck in. Speaking of getting stuck in, I actually myself moved to Brisbane about 3 days before school started from a small country town in Western Queensland called Roma. To be honest, I knew absolutely nobody. The only guidance I had was from my dad. He told me that he knew a guy from school named Matt Henderson, and his son Charlie was coming into grade 5 with me. That was the only thing I was told, and I rocked up on the first day, and Dad dropped me off to my classroom, and I said goodbye, then realised about 5-10 minutes later that I was in the wrong classroom. And yeah, Miss Beecham actually directed me to Miss Braithwaite's next door, and from there I had a fantastic year. So I just would like to really extend a welcome to all those new boys coming this year, because I know how nervous you would be, and yeah, it's hard. But anyway, I wish you a purposeful and rewarding final year. And to everyone here this morning, welcome or welcome back to a community that will continue to challenge and support you throughout the year ahead. So thank you.
Thank you, Ethan, for those wonderful words. The college is very lucky to have your leadership, and he is a wonderful representative of the quality of young man that comes out of this college. So, if you're anything like me, you're very excited that it's your first day here at Nudgee College, or in Year 12, the first day of your last year. You're a little bit nervous, and you're slightly overwhelmed, and that's okay. My role in the college is Dean of Students, and working with the student formation team, our role is to work with you and walk with you throughout your journey here at the college. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, you are feeling unsure, and you're not quite sure where to go or what to do, swing by the student office. And if you don't know where that is, you will learn that today, and just come and ask for some help. Put your hands up, someone will be there. A student, a staff member, or someone else will be there more than willing to guide you and help you along that journey as well. So welcome again. Before I hand over into next steps and off to start our journey today, I'd like to set you the same challenge that I've set myself for this year. Coming into a new community, it's hard to get to know the place, but the best thing you can do is throw yourself into it. Like Ethan said, throw yourself into the opportunities, involve yourself as much as possible. If someone asks you if you want to be a part of something, say yes. Put your hand up and get involved. It's the best way to see what the place has to offer, to meet someone new, and build and embed your relationships within this community. So I'm sure you're all anxious to get on with the day and learn about all that Nudgee has to offer. So from here, all students are going to move with their house dean to house areas for your opening liturgies. And I'll dismiss and direct us to those in a moment. Parents and carers, you are welcome to stay in the hall here, where you can share in morning tea with our college leadership team and our senior leadership team. So as I dismiss the students to their house areas this morning, please feel free to stay, have a cup of tea, have something to eat, and have a chat to our leadership team. So I'm going to dismiss us house by house under the direction of our house deans. Shore House. You can see our locations will come up on the screen here. Shore House, you are moving to Tierney Auditorium. Under the direction of your house dean, can you please exit through the side doors? At the same time, McGee House, since you're closest to the doors, can you please exit through the side there to the Hanley Learning Centre? Barrett House, you're headed to the chapel. Riley House, you're headed to Ryan Hall. Fogarty, you're headed to the Tierney Auditorium. Duggan, you're headed to the Tracy building. McKenna, you're off to the O'Neill Undercroft. Ross, you're in the McHenry Centre. And lucky last, Tierney, you're off to the Learning Centre. Parents and carers, as our students are departing, our morning tea is on its way down for us to share, but we do invite you down to the front of the conference centre to ask any questions you may have at this time. You're more than welcome to move down to the front of the hall here and engage in some questions. Thank you.
Lamborghinis and they rented Hummers. The party's on, so they're heading downtown. Everybody's